Hi, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. We get lots of comments now that we are actually working on a house right now, and people are concerned because they don't see other people working and helping. And this is the situation, that we don't want civilians on the work site. That's really the bottom line. When I used to do work in the UK, I used to go in and I would work out how something could be done. And sometimes the owner would come to me. On one particular occasion I was doing a job, and the owner came to me and said, would it be any cheaper if I work with you? Because I've been taking woodworking classes and I could help you. And I said, well, actually, if you help me, it will be more expensive because I'll be stopping my work to show you what to do. So, no thank you. And I don't want you on my work site. While I'm here, it's my work site and it's not your home. In fact, that was often the problem that I used to have, was that especially if I fitted a kitchen for somebody, I would have a perfectly organized construction site, and that would be when I left at, say, 5 o'clock. When I got back in the next day to start my day's work at, say, 8 o'clock, the woman would have turned it back into a home. So that was always a conflict. Now, as the case is here, if you're watching these videos and you're seeing work go on, and you're seeing what I call my Superman team, Beth and I call it the Superman team, because they go in and they do incredible work at incredible speed, and they get paid. They know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing, but I don't interfere with these guys doing their work. So, do I go in and micromanage? Well, wait a minute, shouldn't that be a mortise and tenon joint and not a dovetail? No, I don't. I let them work as they always work, in the smooth, efficient, talented way that they do. And I let them do that. Now, do we judge people? Excuse me. Do we judge people because they don't come forward and get in the way by helping? No, we don't. Do we look at this in any kind of a judgmental way? No, because underneath it all, we actually want to have fun. We want this experience for the owner, who is in a very disadvantaged condition. We want them to enjoy what is happening, for it to be a joyful situation. They're having a house built over the ruin of what they were left. In the case of the paralyzed man's family, yes, they have sons, and those sons are in as tough a position as many other people in the Philippines. They're scraping by on a few pesos a day. Do we ask them to come over and help? No. Do we pay our work team, or do we ask them to volunteer? The answer is nobody volunteers on our work. They get paid. If they come in and they work, they get paid. Why is that? Why don't they, out of the goodness of their heart, volunteer? They can't afford to turn away paid work that puts food on the table for their family. So we pay more than their normal wage, and we make sure that they are completely happy with what they get. And at the end of it, if we feel that they've done a good job, we take an extra day's pay and give it to them as a bonus. Now, you can see that what this does is it creates a happy work site. Do we want something built on bad feeling? No, I'm very much aware of the vibes in any given situation. When we went first, let me take you back to when we first went to the paralysed man and his house. We went with Pastor Timio, and he was counselling the man. The man was in the most wretched condition. He was paralysed, he was bedridden, couldn't get out of bed. And I'm not talking about being in a hospital room with all the drips and all of those emergency situations handled by experienced staff. I'm talking about a woman who probably didn't have any nursing experience at all, other than what she had been forced to have with her husband, doing the best she could. It's a dirt floor. It's a broken bed. What we first decided, Beth and I, was, why don't we just get the man a bed with a mattress? Now, before we could do that, the man died and left a family. Now, there's, I don't know, 3 or 4 people in that house. They're living in something that is falling down. So it's a sad story. Are we going to go in and make it even sadder by saying, well, isn't anybody going to help us? No, we're not. This is what we do. This is who we are. We're going in and we're offering help, and we're going to make it a joyful experience. And when they go, they will remember us happily, and they will enjoy their house. That's the way that we do it. We're not going to judge whether someone should or shouldn't do anything. We have a team. Beth and I tell the story. We put it on our YouTube channel. And people who are touched send money. And they send money to the project that touches them the most. Be it the 3 little girls, or the paralysed man's family, or Beanie's family. This is how it works. So we don't make any excuses for that. If someone says, why don't you do it this way? The answer is probably because we're not you. That's the answer. So we're there and we're trying to make a joyful experience out of the whole thing. And it is. We get the materials delivered. When we get the materials delivered, little boys and little girls come out and start trying to move the wood. The mother of the 3 little girls came out and helped me unload the truck. Now, I didn't ask her to do that, and I didn't make a fuss about whether she did it. She did it because she wanted to. When we moved the wood into a better place, it was her husband that did that. Did you see it? Well, somebody said, well, we want to see it. Well, you can't. You can't always see everything. That's the way that it is. We go there and we visit the site, and we show you what we can in that short visit. And in that short visit, you get to see whatever's going on right at that time. Now, the last time that we went, you saw all of the workers having their lunch. So does that mean that no one's doing any work and they're getting paid for it? No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. It's that old thing. If you've ever been employed and you've worked very, very hard for 4 or 5 hours, and then you sit down for a moment and take a break, you know that the boss is going to walk in at that exact moment. That's Murphy's Law. So, the other question that somebody had was, what relation is the paralysed man to the 3 little girls? Well, I think that they are related, but as far as the work goes, they're 2 different houses, but they're very close together.
The 3 little girls is the granddaughters.
Is the granddaughter of the widow?
Yeah, the widow.
Okay, so that's the situation there. And actually, it's 4 little girls. That's 4. I don't know. I think we started saying the 3 little girls because we used to go and we used to pick up the three little girls, and they used to go to church. So we picked them up in the truck, and that probably my misunderstanding of not knowing the language and therefore getting the wrong end of the stick. So that's what happened there. Now, what we're hoping is that we will have the finance to be able to go straight from the Paralyzed Man, which we hope to finish this weekend, and to go straight on to doing the Three Little Girls house. And that's our plan. Then after that, we're going to go on and do Beanie's house, because his house is half finished. We want to have all of these three done so that all of these three families, which I think how many people did I work that out at? Was it 17 or 27?
27.
I think it was 27 men, women and children who will have a dry, secure place to sleep. And I think that's a fun thing. I'm not going to make a problem situation out of that because somebody did or didn't lift a piece of wood. I'll lift a piece of wood. I'm not that old. So, don't stress and worry about these things that you see, because we're handling those things. That's what we do. We do that because we want to do that, because there's a great joy in doing that. Can you imagine how we will feel when there's no handing over the keys because there's no lock, but can you imagine what it was like when we went to the blessing of Desiree's house? She has a house for the first time, and it's her own. And that will be the same for the widow. She's been living in a wreck of a house for I don't know how many years. Well, perhaps while I'm on about that, I should touch very briefly on the situation that arose when we said that a woman had arrived who was, just remind me, was the sister?
The sister of the owner.
The sister
the old owner.
Of the past owner. Now, if you haven't lived in the Philippines, there's just no way you can understand it. I'm living in the Philippines and I don't understand it, so how you're going to do it, I'll never know. But there's a hierarchy. The elders are respected, and I guess the bottom line really is that she felt she should have been told, even though she doesn't own the property anymore. She felt that she should have been told. In fact, now I'm remembering, wasn't there something about a boundary line and she was putting a path?
It's good. That past owner sister wants to build a road,
She wants to make a road.
Yeah, right. and she wanted, and she don't want that the building of the house would be on the boundary, near the boundary, right. Because she want that the road will get from that land.
Right, so what she was talking about was that she didn't want the provision of a road. And when we talk about a road here, we're talking about a path that is about 6 or 7 feet wide. She didn't want all of that path to come out of her property. She wanted some of it to come out of the Paralyzed Man's property, and that was easily, quickly handled. The house is not right on the very edge of the boundary, and everybody is now happy. So there's no need for anybody to be worrying about that. So that was that. We're hoping to go on to the Three Little Girls.
Yeah, we're gonna do that next month on Monday. By Saturday, we're going to buy the materials. Hoping, when PayPal.
We have, you should probably know that we have a difficulty with PayPal, and they're holding a lot of money that we need to do our projects. Now, this brings me to one of the things that we've learned since we started to do this work of just helping people. Beth and I work on a volunteer basis, although we both joke about this and say that we're paid more than anybody else because we see our projects coming to fruition, and because we're helping people, children, men and women, the rewards are infinite, believe me. So what we actually want to do, and I've forgotten my train of thought is gone. But what we're trying to do is to make it so that people are helped, people are put forward. We don't have to look for these projects, they come looking for us, right? Well, what happened was people had donated, and they donated to PayPal, and for some reason PayPal blocked the account, and I think it was because we tried to go online and change the limit. There was a limit of $1,000.
Yeah.
We tried to go online and change that, and it must have triggered some kind of a security alarm, and they said, well, you have to verify your identity, and that wasn't so easy because the phone number that they had was an old Florida phone number from nearly 4 years ago. So when we tried to go on, we would be calling from our cell phone number in the Philippines, and the computer would be saying, we don't recognize this number for this account. So we weren't able to log on. So we're in the process of trying to sort that out. We've made, I think, is it 6 or 7 phone calls now?
6 phone calls.
We've spoken to a person with a pulse, but with not a great deal of power to make a decision. So we're still waiting for that. And it's one of those infuriating things that just as you're about to say, okay, can we do that, we lose the signal.
Yeah, but I think the advantage now, before we cannot log in, we cannot log in because it needs the security verification. But now we can log in and show the account.
So they've got the new phone number, at least.
No, it's not. They're just opening it. Because remember, they asked you a security questions.
Right.
So at least we can log in now and view all the names and the amount there.
Okay.
That's the advantage now. So we're hoping, I looked at yesterday, when did our last transaction, and it's November 12. That's the time where our limit for the month of November is finished. So I think by December 12 or December 13, we can transfer at 1,000 on the Wells Fargo account.
Okay, so we'll be able to transfer it to my Wells Fargo account.
So that's our
so
hope.
we have moved forward. I always believed that we would be able to, but I knew that these things can take a few weeks to handle. Now, that's what I was actually trying to remember, was that.
Yeah, but on Saturday we're going.
Now she started talking in the middle of my sentence, so I'll forget.
Sorry. By Saturday we're going to buy some materials at least to start up the 3 little girls.
Right. Well, we have a lot of materials there anyway.
The wood is already completed.
So, it's already spoken for, you mean?
Means it's already there, ready for it. It's just the other materials.
That's what I just said.
Okay.
So, what was that thought that you drove out of my head?
I don't know,
was just about to say. Now, what we've just been amazed at is how, when people found out, our subscribers found out that money was blocked, and knowing that our MO, our method is that when the money is left over from one, it goes on to the next. So any money that's left over from the paralyzed man's house, it will go to the little girl's house. And any money left over from the little girls will go to Beanie's house, and then on to the next one. So the money, whatever money is donated, it's going to go to helping people. And you will see that. But what was great was that the fact that people jumped in. Like Mrs. White at Barnsley, straight away, we didn't ask anybody to do this, but she jumped in and said, well, equivalent of, if you're having trouble and you can't get that money, you're going to need money. And she sent money so that we could continue. And this has been our experience, that people, and I think it's because they can see where the money goes, they just jump in and send money. It's just incredible.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. White, and also to Sir Alex, who sent also some donations for the house repair project.
Well, we don't have the list right now, so what's
Yeah.
going to happen is we're going to miss somebody out.
Yeah, we will
and
do
they'll
that.
be saying, well, you didn't get my donation.
No,
so,
no, I'll do the update once the house of the paralyzed man's finished, and I'll do the, you know.
Okay.